final wash day is here. I soaked my hair. So I'm going to show you how to put in your shampoo for final wash. You are using something that has sodium, sorry, my nose, has sodium lauryl sulfate, but no silicone, correct? Good. I'm not going to use that because I've already done my final wash, but I'm going to show you how the final wash is done. I'm using a clarifying shampoo, which we'll get to later. This video, you don't need to worry about clarifying shampoo. Take a good amount of shampoo and get it in your hair. I know this seems silly to do a video about how to wash your hair, but I've had to explain this to a few people, so I just wanted to make sure we got it. Look at this. I am scrubbing the heck out of my hair. I'm scrubbing really good into those roots, and I'm getting this thick foam, and I am just washing it like I will never ever wash it again, because I'm never going to use sodium lauryl sulfate ever again. And you're getting back here, you're getting the sides, you are scrubbing it in. Now, for your final wash, I would suggest that you leave this in for a couple minutes while you're in the shower, and then, you know, do your other things like wash and all that, shave or whatever, or don't shave, I don't care. It's no shave November, right? And then rinse it out really well. Do the same thing I just did. Rinse it out really well. And you can even do a third time if you have super thick, coarse hair. Just get all that gunk out of there. You are removing waxes, you're removing parabens, and you're removing silicones. So make sure you really nail this scrubbing and this final wash, and it'll make your transition much easier. So you've completed your final wash. You can come out of the shower. Do not touch terry cloth. No! So you've come out of the shower after your final wash, and your hair might feel icky and sticky. You've got one of your Curly Girl approved, whichever conditioner you've picked up. If you have your VO5 strawberries and cream for less than $1, you can use that. I don't have it. I almost thought about running out and getting it just so I could show it to you with it, but then I would be spending more money, and I'm all about spending less money. Grab a lot of conditioner, and we're just gonna smooth it in because we're gonna do our deep condition next. And I don't have that much hair. I don't know how much hair you have. Look at how much I'm putting in. You put in however much you need to put in for your hair. You want to really massage it in there. There's something called a squish to condition. We're not worrying about that today because we're just worrying about your final wash and deep condition. We'll talk about squish to condition later, I promise. One thing at a time, that's what I say. Let's make this easy. So look at that. And as you work that conditioner in, you're going to create some heat with your hands while you do it, which is good. After you rinse out all your shampoo, you want to rinse with warm water and put this conditioner in with warm water. That's preferable. There it is. You'll get clumps. It's okay. Next, I'm going to rinse. Okay, these things should be outlawed. I understand that. You can get a plastic shower cap if you feel more responsible doing that. I get a lot of my groceries delivered because I hate grocery shopping and they just automatically come in. Remember your really cool t-shirt? Whichever is the coolest t-shirt. I gotta close my robe. It's not that kind of a YouTube video. Use this t-shirt. You're not using it to plop yet. You're just using it to keep your head warm inside this plastic. Looking ridiculous. Tying a t-shirt around my head. Ugh. And this t-shirt is just keeping your hair warm while you deep condition because you want it to stay warm. We're not going to go into heating with deep conditioning yet. We're just going to do this because this is simple and easy. Eric, are you gonna start dinner? Yeah, sure. I'm deep conditioning right now. So I got a few chapters of my book read and my husband has started dinner and I just washed out all of my deep conditioner. So I'm gonna show you how to do your styling next. Use the same conditioner you've just been using all along. See, one product. Your second product is your gel. Remember, I recommended this, but you might have something different like LA Looks. Let's use a little leave-in. This depends on how much moisture your hair is gonna need, and it's not an exact science. If you have thick hair that's very, very dry, use more. I don't. I have thin hair that gets easily moisturized. So I don't use a lot of leave-in, if I use leave-in at all. So a little bit, you emulsify, which remember is that fancy term for rubbing it in your palms. And at this point, you can decide to do praying hands because your hair should be soaping wet. Go upside down and bring it in like so, like you're literally praying. If you have extra hair, section it and pray. Pray to the hair gods that it all works out. Okay, then we scrunch, squish. Squish it all in. Now is the gel time. You haven't used it in 20 years. You're going to use a lot of this stuff. You're going to use a lot of this stuff. Emulsify, especially if you're a wavy, if you don't have ringlets or extra curly hair, you always want to warm your products up. And praying hands again is like so. You notice I'm keeping my head tilted down too. That's another part of the curly girl method. You can put your products in upside down and it's to gain more volume. Okay, and then we squish and we squish and we squish all those products in, those two products in. That's it. Because we're doing this easy. And you squish all over your hair. And I usually come up a little bit. I don't do it all like toppled over the whole time. Some people do. And whatever you decide is good for your hair, you will do. Don't worry about it right now. Get it in there. That's all you're going to worry about. And next we'll move on to plopping. You're just gonna lay your t-shirt out anywhere, sometimes on the toilet, sometimes on the floor of the bathroom. You're literally gonna just squish, 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 plop your hair into the t-shirt. And I'll show you how to tie it. You want enough of the t-shirt to cover your head, obviously. You're gonna look really silly, aren't you? Your whole family's gonna wonder, what is she doing? Why? But this is your plop, and you're gonna leave it on no more than 20 minutes, depending on how much hair you have. I typically leave mine on between 10 and 15 minutes, and this is just to set your curl pattern. I tell you what, dinner is really starting to smell good. All right, let's undo the plop. It looks weird, doesn't it? You're like, at this point, you're like, what is this gonna do for me? At this point, don't be afraid to touch your hair. This is what I do. I kind of ease in to where I think my part is roughly gonna lie. And guess what? We're scrunching. My hair has a tendency to grow and form all the way forward into my face. That's why when I arrange it after the plop carefully, I push it back. And I shake the roots a little bit. Push it all back. Guess what? More scrunching. Lots of scrunching. Okay. Now, at this point, do nothing. Don't touch it again, okay? Now, if you see some random weird stuff happening, take care of it now, because for the next, well, I don't know how long it's going to take your hair to dry. I just don't. There's no way to predict it. Well, technically there is, but we're not going to worry about that. So however long it takes your hair to dry, that's when you'll come back and you will hopefully have really crunchy, scary looking hair. S-O-T-C. Yeah. Okay, this is the momentous occasion. A lot of people might be wondering, how do I know for a fact my hair is dry under all this? And I go to the roots, and then I go to like the thickest part, and I push on it, like your thickest clump, and you push on it. For some reason, these back guys, for me, are some of the last to dry. So I push on them to see if there's any remaining water. The best advice I had heard about scrunching out your cast, which is what we're going to do next, is to wait for it to be dry and then wait another hour. But You know, I have low porosity hair. Don't worry about your porosity right now. But I do, and it's also fine. So it technically can take a little bit longer than other fine wavies to dry, but I don't have a lot of hair, so wish I had more hair, but in a way, it's a good thing that I don't. So, your cast. Ugh. Yeah, you're looking at this going, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And you're feeling those big clumps, and there's no water in there. But your hair is all nasty, right? So, another tip. Your Curly Girl approved conditioner, whatever you're using. Very tiny amount, like that much, just a little bit. And you're gonna rub it in your hands, emulsify it, if you will. And that will just make your hands feel silky. You don't want to use hand lotion or anything because they typically have dimethicone, which is a silicone, stays off your hair. I don't care if you put it on your skin, but don't put it on your hair. And I even wore this because you haven't used gel, right, in 20 years. So, yay. You probably haven't even worn tie-dye in 20 years, right? This is how you scrunch out the cast. Look at that. You're doing the same exact thing you did to put it in. You're scrunching it. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. All over your head. We use just a little bit of the conditioner on your hands just to reduce friction. That's the only reason. People talk about using lubricants to scrunch out their cast. They talk about using oils to scrunch out their cast. But you can just do this. You can just make it easy. And as you scrunch, you might notice, uh-oh, like here, it's still a little wet. That's why you wait another hour, and I didn't. I was too excited to make this video for you. Okay, at this point, you will notice your hair has softened up a lot, right? But your roots might still look very bizarre. So this is another tip when you scrunch out. Bring your hands right at the roots and just move them around. It's just that motion. Up at the roots. I'm just keeping my hand on the scalp. This helps to break up all those little bald patches you saw on my head because I have such thin hair. And it also helps to give root volume. So give you a little bit of volume. Because hopefully your curls are looking really defined. And now we just want to give it some volume. Look at that little guy. He's pretty cute. I'm going to leave him there. Okay, so your hair will eventually, like it does these weird things, it'll eventually settle. I'm going to shake it out. Don't you do it. But I'm just going to bring it down a little bit just to kind of show you what I mean by settling. Gravity is just going to bring it all down. Okay? So at this point, you can shake it. You can love it, but stop touching it. Follow me, look at my suggestions posted below, and we'll talk about all the refinements to the curly girl method, I promise you. This is your beginning of your journey, and it's a good beginning, and don't be dismayed initially. Subscribe to me, look at my suggestions below, and we'll get through this together.